So here in this game, meeting in New York, uh, we have two. So everybody's familiar with the rules of this game, right? The parties have to pick a location. They have a choice between Empire State or Grand Central. If the parties are able to meet, they get a payoff of $100 each. If they miss each other because they are at a different location, they'll get 0 each. And we have two equilibria in this game, two Nash equilibria. We have the Empire State equilibrium and the Grand Central equilibrium. And you can verify yourself that indeed these are Nash equilibria because each player is playing the best response to the other player's strategy. It's pretty trivial to verify this. Now, what's interesting here is that the concept, this illustrates that the Nash equilibrium concept is silent on which equilibrium we should expect to see, right? So you have an example of a game with multiple equilibria, and the theory does not tell you which equilibrium is likely to emerge. The concept of Nash equilibrium is really about stability, but not so much how you get there, right? It's more about how once you are there at the equilibrium itself, you have no incentive to deviate. But it's not exactly clear how the players arrive at this equilibrium. And in fact, the inherent property, intrinsic property of the equilibrium itself is pretty much ignored, right? This is this issue of the focal point, which is pretty much here ignored. So if we were to change the payoffs, for example, payoffs for the Empire State meeting now gets replaced, and each player gets $1 each, as opposed to $100. From the standpoint of Nash equilibrium itself, the game is unchanged, right? We still have two Nash equilibria. But we can see that one Nash equilibrium is inherently more attractive than another, right? Namely, the Grand Central equilibrium gives you a much higher payoff. And so this probably means that the Grand Central equilibrium is probably more likely to occur. I know that personally, if I was playing this game, I would head to Grand Central and not to the Empire State. So if we take into account the natural appeal of one of the particular outcome, we think that we have an ability to perhaps make a case that this appeal could give you an indication of the prediction of this game. But this is not something that comes from the concept of Nash equilibrium itself. From the point of view of Nash equilibrium, really, there is no particular reason that Grand Central would be a more likely play. And so we would probably end up characterizing this game as a game where each player will adopt a mixed strategy, 50% chance of going to the Empire State or 50% chance of going to Grand Central. And so we would get the concept of a mixed strategy equilibrium here in the meeting in New York game.